Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jerry and Clint here from ThreatGEN, doing a little Let's Play action on a Wednesday afternoon. I hope you're well. Over the next 45 minutes to an hour, Clint and I will be playing the ThreatGEN Red versus Blue Cybersecurity Gamification Platform. It's a platform that basically makes playing video games and learning about cybersecurity one and the same. I'm pretty pumped about it. I will be wanting to play the blue side today. You can play as the defender or the offender, right? The offsec people, the red team, if you will. And the your opponent will be an active adversary simulation, an AI essentially, computer that will be attempting to take over and either denial of service my manufacturing facility or just straight up compromise it in the way that red people do. Clint, something to say before we get going?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the debut of our 1.8. There's a lot of changes on the back end, a few visual changes. But yeah, this is the first time we're publicly streaming version 1.8. So let's have some fun and let's do it.
Yeah, let's hope we don't. No bugs, no.
Sorry, I cut you off on the intro there. I didn't realize that I think there's a delay.
Oh, that's all good. It's good to see you in chat, Carrie. Hope you're doing well. Guys, you can see here in version 1.8, we've got the new labs button here. It's not what we'll be doing today. We'll be playing, but you can see the functionality starting to show. So let's do single player. We'll play as the blue team. I want to do manufacturing plant today. And let's begin the event. We've got our explanations of what we're doing so far and our win conditions, essentially getting the red team arrested or surviving the storm long enough. Hey, Shane Clark, good to see you. No, this isn't the duel. This isn't the duel. We'll be playing heads up, me versus Clint, on April 15th, though. All right, so welcome to the team, guys. We're the new CISO at this manufacturing company. Looking pretty good. Looks like we're into shipping and logistics, making widgets, Clint. All right, so just so you guys know, you can see at the top left, this is our budget. We have $50,000 and we have 3 analysts. Let's say 2 junior analysts, 1 senior analyst, and then myself as the Chief Information Security Officer. We've got our action queue of what we've been doing, our action log to show us progress on things that are in flight, if you will, countdown timer for us to make our turns, and then 1 through 50, 50 turns if we're going to survive the storm. We have our action tree, which you can see right here. These are all the things that blue team, defenders, SOC analysts, CISOs, this is our world right here. So as the Chief Information Security Officer of this particular organization, I start off with nothing. This place has nothing. So we're going to do some basic fundamental stuff here right off the rip. We are going to be doing policies and procedures. We'll unlock this skill tree of two-factor auth, IR procedures, network traffic, etc. So let's definitely do that. You can see 2 of my FTEs have disappeared because they're off writing policies, talking to the engineering staff, figuring out how procedures work. Hey, Jess Bishop, good to see you in chat. This is our network topology. Because we're the blue team, we know what our network looks like. And by the way, just as a fun fact from a practitioner's real life, if I started at a new organization day one and they were able to provide me a network topology to this level of detail, I would be stunned. Clint, I don't know about you, but in my experience, in my world, you get there and you've got a network diagram that's from like 2017. They did because an external audit came and required it. Nothing's updated. It's not even at the right level. But in the game, we are given that benefit.
And that's even if they have a topology diagram at all.
Yeah. So I will say, normally I go right into asset inventory with my other first, my opening move, if you will, my opening chess move. But I've been thinking more about it. And, you know, when you come to an organization, you need to know what assets are there so you can protect them. But at the end of the day, 2-factor authentication, gateway firewall, some basic security operations. These are all things that you know you're going to need no matter what. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that gateway all in. You can see now all my FTEs are fully applied, so they are off working. I don't have any more people to do anything, and obviously I have money, but that's that's fine. We got our progress here on what's going on. So this is going to take 3 turns to develop the policies and procedures and 1 turn for the gateway firewall. So to put that in reality, the gateway firewall, Palo Alto just shipped it. We rack and stack and turned it on, and it's good to go. Whereas the policies and procedures, we need to get our staff engaged.
What kind of company starts off without a firewall?
Hey, you know what, Clint? Small businesses move fast, right? They're agile. They're working on solutions. They're not working on security. So looks like we got our gateway firewall in place, which is absolutely fantastic. You can see at the level of detail it gives us, I know it's a little hard to see, but you get an IP address, MAC address, all the things that you would normally expect well, from asset inventory, right? So I do appreciate that. We've got our 1 FTE back. Let's look at our skill tree and see what we've unlocked. Nothing yet because we're still doing the policies and procedures. What else are we going to do? Let's do that asset inventory. Now, it is going to take 3 turns, which is brutal because our policies and procedures are still being developed. This is one of those ones where I have to really think through it. If I commit my asset inventory for 3 turns, that means next turn all of my assets are fully committed, and I really don't get a next turn. Whereas if I install the SIM, I'll free up that resource again, and they can start doing something. It is a tough call. I'm going to go ahead and do the asset inventory because I need to unlock some of these skill tree items. Well, hold on. You know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to install the SIM to unlock some of this stuff. I'm going to install video surveillance. No. That's 3 turns. All right. I'm just going to do asset inventory. It literally is the CIS controls #1 control. It's in every control framework. You know what? There's no shortcuts in cybersecurity, Clint. You know that, right? No shortcuts, no easy button.
I mean, there kind of is.
What's the easy button?
Okay, there's no easy button. I would say, things like multi-factor authentication is a shortcut to broader bang for your buck, but it's not an easy button because it's not easy to implement.
No, it's not. That I will tell you from real experience for those in chat, rolling out multi-factor authentication sounds simple in practice, right? Like you yourself set up your multi-factor on your phone, takes a few minutes, no big deal. When you are rolling it out to even a population of 1,000 users, it is incredibly complicated and it can take months. I'm talking people who don't want to install an app on their phone because they think that you're actually spying on their phones. People who don't own mobile phones, right? Or they have flip phones. They need hardware tokens. Hardware tokens cost money. They have to be shipped out to the sites. They have to be configured. It gets messy quick. As I said before, now all 3 of my assets or my analysts are committed, so I don't really get a turn. I will take a moment to look at my network diagram. This is a pretty sweet layout. We've got what looks like our corporate infrastructure stuff over here, our Active Directory domain. Hey, Malik. Hey, Rand. Good to see you. We've got our DMZ zone. Well, this is our DMZ. This looks like our corporate end users. So just 3 end users. This could be Tom in finance, Olivia in accounting, and Kim in HR. Got some network appliances, pretty standard stuff, right? Switches. Now comes our industrial control system area. Now, I'm not a huge industrial control expert. One cool thing about the platform that's worth showing, I can click on the PCS historian, and it tells me a little bit more about it, but I should be able to, Clint, where do I go? Because I don't know what a historian does, or an engineering workstation, but there's definitely a way to find out, right?
Yep, you can click on the question mark there where you're at. There you go. And you can just search under assets, go to assets.
Oh, okay.
Click on assets.
Oh, here they are.
You can just search for historian. Yeah.
All right. So actually, let me go to engineering workstation because that seemed important the other day. So in the game, you actually get some like think of it as almost like a wiki, but for people using the platform to understand better what's going on. So again, I don't work in an ICS world, so understanding what an engineering workstation is important, right? The engineering workstation is what the engineers use to program and interface with all of the PLCs and radios, right? Prime target for hackers. So this is good for me to know, right? As someone who's trying to defend a fictitious manufacturing facility, I wouldn't know the engineering workstation is essentially, this is a high priority target. This is essentially like a VIP system, right, Clint?
Yeah, the engineering workstation in a lot of cases that's the keys to the castle.
Interesting. Very good to know. All right, so I'm gonna focus on securing the crap out of this, guys. But let's end our turn right now. Blue team. All right, guys, this is great.
The new notification window.
Go ahead.
I was just saying it's the new notification window. Instead of getting like 3 different pop-up windows for each type of notification, it's all unified right there, kind of like a quest window.
Yeah, I love this. Whoever recommended this feature be included, thank you. I think this is a great look. And you can see here, I can click on either one to see what exactly happened, right? So the perimeter firewall was installed, which is good. It helps secure bad guys from the network, right? So this is good.
And don't forget the flavor text under each notification. We spent a lot of time finding quotes for flavor text.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Yeah, so check it out. I've now got 2 of my analysts freed, and I think I was able to unlock the skill tree under here. Okay, again, guys, blocking and tackling, basic stuff. Multi-factor authentication is critically important, especially in, I mean, it's a zero trust architecture. It's 2022. People using their own phones. People are using cloud systems. People are working from home. Got to have that 2FA in place. Also worth noting, you'll notice the network is in green, and these are the assets that I can touch. And I guess this workstation that's coming from Starbucks somewhere on the internet is, kind of corporate assets. But this tan area right here, this is not functional. I cannot do anything with that. Clint, why can I not do anything with this?
Because that's the actual physical process out in the plant, right? So that's the stuff that's kinetic. That's your physical buttons, an actual motor, a generator, a robotic arm. Those are things that aren't, they're not the responsibility of the cybersecurity team or even the IT team. Now, what you will see is you have a DCS operator there. That's going to be, that sort of is representative of your HMI, your field HMI there down at the bottom, HMI PCS73. But either way, it's not the responsibility of cybersecurity to mess in that space there.
Interesting. Very good to know. So,
and that's also
as a side benefit. Go ahead.
Yeah, this delay is killing me. But that is the purpose of your business right there. That's your production. Those are the critical things. So when those go belly up or catch on fire or whatever, blow up or don't function properly, that's at that point, that's for the game purposes, that's when you lose the game. That's what you're protecting here.
Good to know. So again, ThreatGEN Red versus Blue Cybersecurity Gamification Platform. And I have almost 20 years of cybersecurity experience. So a lot of these things I'm kind of taken as common, but I've never worked really in an ICS OT space. So for me, this platform is really educating me on that type of technology and that type of world. So I'm getting benefit from this. I love it. So let's end the turn as our staff begins to deploy 2FA. Okay. So it looks like the notifications kind of just persist over time, so you can track your history. We finished our asset inventory, which is good. I think we still have actions going, right? Yes, we can see how our progress is going, so we can map out our long-term execution, right? Our long-term plan and strategy. Because guys, you should not, even in like real life, when you're running a cybersecurity program or maturing a cybersecurity program, you shouldn't be acting tactically for like what you're doing next, right? You should have a strategy. You should be doing things in a prioritized fashion based on risk reduction, budget, available resources, and executing on them. So, by looking at something like this, you can be like, okay, I've still got 2 turns of 2 analysts being locked down. So I should be thinking about kind of one analyst one or one analyst two turn type activities that align with my long-term strategy. So this engineering workstation is definitely critically important. I want to start unlocking getting EDR or endpoint detection and response. This is huge. I think I need to put a SIM in place to get that. Yep. See, the SIM is right here. The EDR is right here, which is a skill tree unlock under the SIM. And the reason is two technologies are different, but when the EDR goes off, typically you'll configure it to send telemetry to the SIM, so you can have a aggregated kind of, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to say it, a single pane of glass of what is going on. So this is one person, one turn. So let's go ahead and do that. End our turn. Again, I'm trying to put in basic fundamental protection controls right now. We have threat monitoring. Perfect. So now our SIM is in place. So for our next skill tree, now that we have a SIM, I want to put an EDR on that engine workstation right here. See, this is what's going on.
So real quick, Nico made a comment that he wishes that this was on mobile. We had it on mobile at one time, and there's a lot of logistical upkeep things that go along with having it on so many platforms. But we are considering releasing it on mobile officially. Maybe.
Nice. Nice. I see Dave Klein in chat. Good to see you, Dave. So I'm going to install EDR on the engineering workstation. Again, like when I'm rolling out a program, I like big ticket items like multi-factor authentication protects all of my end users, right? Gateway firewall protects, essentially my entire network, right? We could argue the semantics of that, but when I install EDR on the engineering workstation, I'm really only securing one asset of the whole thing. So you could make the argument, well, Jerry, maybe you should be looking at doing some other stuff, right? Network segmentation, for example, security awareness, which is hugely valuable. But simply because of the level of criticality and sensitivity of this engineering workstation, I'm going to make an exception and I'm going to deploy EDR on it right now. If that machine gets pwned, I need to know. It's of vital importance. But I will tell you from a strategy perspective, security awareness is the next thing I'm going to do when I have the ability to do it. Why? Again, it's one of those ones that I'm able to cover a large swath of risk with one single control. Most people think technical controls are the end-all be-all of great cybersecurity. And while multi-factor authentication is a technical control and it's hugely valuable, security awareness is incredibly valuable. If you can educate your end users, they're the ones who are likely to see suspicious things happening, not you. So security awareness, very important. Let's keep rolling.
By the way, the music you hear in the background is Jerry's own music. The in-game music is much cooler.
Would you like to hear the in-game music, Clint, to showcase it?
It doesn't matter to me. You do you.
Okay. Well, let's just keep rolling on this then. This is how I CISO, Clint. This is how I CISO. Clint, Gary had a question, Devnil Zen, on balance issues. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing
Oh,
the
there it is.
paired
There it
comments?
is. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. Have the balance issues been worked on? I played a couple months ago and was able to win as red team way too easily. Yes. So we did do some red team balancing, specifically around some of the physical entry. It's not so easy to just bull rush your way in physical security, beeline to HMIs or do USB drops. We balanced a lot of that, and that was where some of the balance issues were on the red team. But yeah, we have worked on that, and we're always going to continually be working on balance issues as we evolve the game and add new features.
Great question. Thank you. So I've got all of my assets back and I still got 37 Gs. So we're in April, Christmas party, holiday parties, quite a ways away. So we don't need to think about budgeting for that. So I'll just continue to invest in my security. As I mentioned before, security awareness, unbelievably valuable. But what do we have here? Here's a 1.8 upgrade.
Yeah.
Is this always here?
Well,
I don't
what you can
remember
do.
this skill tree going this deep here.
Yeah, so now you have to have security skills training in order to do threat hunting, and you can now do things internally. So if you have the security skills training, which is advanced training, you can now do vulnerability assessments and pen testing using people instead of a more cost. So it no longer costs you a lot of money to do those things because you can now do them internally.
Very nice. I love that upgrade because it's very representative of reality, and that's like, I know we're playing the game right now, but that's one of the things I like about this platform because it really is aligned to like real life. The way that you build a program, the way you decide between professional services and internal staff, right? Whether or not you get a platform to help you do some type of activity or you develop it in house. It's very realistic. But let's do our
Well, and
security. We're in a screen. Keep going.
while you're doing that, I'll mention two things. Yeah, that was the whole intent of building this game, was for real world training. So we had to make it as realistic as we could while minimizing the level of technical skill required. But one thing I want to point out is in that skill tree there, one thing we're going to probably do in a hot fix is the advanced security skills training should not have the prerequisite of awareness training, because technically those are two different things with two different sets of people in your organization. So we're going to move that out from underneath that prerequisite.
That's smart. I see a new skill here, hardened RDP. I'm not saying because I started working at ThreatGEN, but what I am saying is nothing gets me more mad. Oh, I forgot to do my turn. Nothing gets me more mad than 3389 open to the internet. Okay, so
yeah, and the thing about
ahead.
that is, yes, you have influenced some of the development so far since you've been at ThreatGEN, but I gotta say, our new beta tester, our SQA analyst, Greg, he has been harping on that RDP issue on the terminal server for months. So we finally put in hardened RDP.
Very nice. Harden Greg. Good. So I missed my turn, and this, you could argue that this is representative of real life too, guys. So I missed my turn. My analyst was basically just sitting watching Netflix, feet kicked up because I didn't assign the analyst to do any work. This video surveillance is a one person who I put that analyst on, but it takes 3 turns. So because I missed a turn, this is really like a 4-turn decision point, right? So shame on me for not maximizing my resources, especially considering how constrained my resources are. Yet another reality of working in cybersecurity. Never enough people, never enough. There can always be enough money. Like businesses will throw money at security, right? That's not the problem. It's having the people to do something, right? You can buy a shiny new appliance. If you don't have staff to run it, tune it, report on it, etc., it's not good. It doesn't work.
So there's a question for me, but I think this might be a question for you if it's not game related. There was a question. I do see this, by the way, but how can I get more experience to get into IT remotely? Now, are you talking real life or are you talking in game? If you're talking, I'm assuming you're talking real life, and that's a question, and that is a broad question to answer. And I would say the best way to answer that question is go over to Jerry's other channel, Simply Cyber, because that's the kind of stuff they talk about all the time.
Yep. Carrie is a member, card carrying member of the Simply Cyber community. He's been doing the work, putting in the effort. It's a lot of just grinding, Carrie. Studying those fundamentals. Check out that GRC course. I know you've been looking at it, working through it. That's going to help Sec Plus. I'll give you some of that foundationals. If you go to SANS, oh gosh, what is it called? Clint, you'd have to pull it up. It's like SANS All Stars or SANS Security Stars. It's a free foundational course, right? Get all that foundational information, get it good. And then, Carrie, I would say, you're doing the right things with networking, but maybe, start documenting what you've been working on, whether on LinkedIn or a blog or within the
Build labs.
Yeah, labs are good.
Build labs and do a lot of hands-on stuff. Every project you get involved in, at whether it's at school or personally, helping friends out, doing labs, put all that stuff on your resume as experience.
Absolutely. And Carrie, you should know this, but if you don't, over at simplycyber.io under the free resources section, there's 3 different resume templates, free. You don't even have to give me an email or anything. and you can use those. And one of them is designed for highlighting lab experience, to basically kind of showcase it as work experience. So I got this video surveillance stuff going in. I've got 2 analysts who definitely need to be put to work. How much is network segmentation? That's another really good one that's expensive, but it's so worth it.
It's 2 staff, 3 turns, I think.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to do it, guys. I'm going to do it. Here's the thing. I'm almost completed like my big ticket, wide reaching security controls, and the game I'm about to pivot into, focusing on hardening my ICS, my OT, my Active Directory over here on the corporate side. Good. All right. Loiterer removed from perimeter. Now, I'm just going to say I find it interesting that the security awareness training completed, and then all of a sudden, people knew to ask that person walking around with a clipboard, hey, what are you doing here? Where's your badge? Why are you carrying that ladder? Do you have right? Who's escorting you? The loiterer was suspicious. Now, whether or not they were a wandering vagrant or if they were an APT, it doesn't matter. They have no business being there. Now, you'll notice the police officer here, the threat intel score has bumped up to 1% because we moved that loiterer off the property. Once we finish the video surveillance, it's going to be even harder for those loiterers or potential pen testers to get on the property. So this is all, you can see the value of the controls are starting to pay dividends. I will be playing Clint heads up. So right now I'm playing an active adversary kind of AI computer intelligence. They are the offensive security professionals, but you can play heads up, player versus player. And on April 15th at 11 a.m., and I'll be chiming this all over Simply Cyber. April 15th at 11 a.m., Clint and I will be playing heads up on 2 different streams. I'll be doing my stream on Simply Cyber. He'll be doing his stream on ThreatGEN and through InfoSec Live. And no stream sniping, but we will go head to head. And I will dominate him. I don't care if he's my boss. There will be no friends for that hour, Clint.
I think that I'm really just going to be an advisor to Simon. I think you're really playing Simon.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it a little bit more fair. I thought it was slightly unfair that the lead developer of the game was going against me, but
I'm not the programmer though. Aaron is our lead programmer, and by the way, it was his idea to have the new notification interface. But I don't write that much code in the game anymore, so I'm not as familiar with the mechanics anymore. I mean, Greg and Matt, one of our other developers, Gregor SQA and Matt, one of the co-founders of ThreatGEN, and Aaron, those guys are all a lot more familiar with the inner workings and the tricks and the secrets than I am now. So,
okay, well, good, that's fair. And really quick shout out, Jess Bishop. I see you in chat on YouTube talking about going to look at Conti's TTPs. Just so you know, Simply Cyber Live on April 28th, I believe, we're actually going to be having Dave Klein, who's also in chat, on as a guest, and we are going to be talking about Conti ransomware. So just be aware of that. It help fill in. I might even do a produced video, Jess, on Conti's essentially those leaked internal communications, but we'll see. I'm not 100% committed yet on that. All right, let's end the turn.
Go to simplycyber.io to get all that info, right?
Yep. Yeah, you can go to simplycyber.io or simplycyber.io/FTF, which stands for First Things First, the morning threat briefing I do. But you can go there and all the upcoming live streams will be there, including the me versus Clint on the 15th, the upcoming talk. Well, actually, the Conti one with Dave Klein is not scheduled yet because I have to make the promo art. There was a last minute change with that particular show. Okay, so I've got one of my assets available. My video surveillance system is installed. I am feeling pretty good about myself, guys. Like at this point, I might go to Starbucks and get a coffee. Like that's how I'm feeling. I feel I can sleep at night. I've got 2FA. I've got awareness training. I've got video surveillance. My engineering workstation is hard. I've got a SIM. This is for me, Clint. For me personally, like if I was going to relate this to chess from a cybersecurity CISO perspective, I feel like I have just completed my opening move, or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like my opening gambit, if you will. And now I'm on to stage 2 or act 2 of like, all right, let's begin to really harden certain things and focus on areas instead of the wider program. So I've got
I would
one analyst.
absolutely
Go ahead.
I would absolutely agree with that analogy because I do the same thing, and I think a lot of people do when you're playing red versus blue. Everybody kind of has their opening setup depending on what they think the other player is going to do. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Thank you, Technical Noob, calling out that GRC masterclass. Super pumped about that class. Over 2,000 students in 2 weeks, helping a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of personal notes from people about how that course has helped them in their situation in life. So super pumped. Thank you for sharing that news with us. All right, so I've got one more turn until. Oh, congratulations, Nico, getting that CYSA plus. You know what's up. Looking to be a SOC analyst, perhaps? I think that's really good for SOC analyst work. Network segmentation's almost done, which I'm going to feel great about. Let's see if I can use my one person to do something valuable for that next one turn. Implement strong Wi-Fi. I'm not feeling that. ICS safe testing methods, not feeling that. Vulnerability mapping, install network security sensor. I do like network security sensors, but since we're doing network segmentation, I'm feeling that might be a little overkill in that particular space. 30 seconds, guys. What are we thinking here? You know what? Let's do another point to control. So the HMI. So this is a good one. I'm gonna do the HMI one, but if I had more time, if I was playing by myself, I would actually go into the wiki here, look at assets, and pull up the two assets, this controller and this HMI, to see which one is valuable. I'm going to guess the HMI right now, and I'm going to install EDR on that so I can get that telemetry if this particular box gets pwned. All right. Looks like we got an award just for being awesome. Perimeter secured, network segmented, security monitored, deployed. You've got a solid base for your network security now. Yes, we are winning so hard. I'm going to the board meeting after my first quarter being on the job and reporting how hard I'm winning at being good at information security. So you can see the color of our network has changed from all green to a multitude of colors. This is because of network segmentation. Also incredibly hard control to implement well. And you need an organization that is committed to do onboarding network segmentation. If you don't have top level commitment on that, you can pay a lot of money for an access control solution that's just configured with open any. All right. So we've got our 3 assets or analysts. We've got $14,000. Requesting budget takes 3 turns and 1 asset. So let's take a look. We're getting close to needing to request budget. By the way, we just got told how great we're doing by the board. So requesting budget isn't really an outrageous thing to ask for. Hiring a staff.
Have you done a vulnerability assessment?
No, I haven't done a vulnerability assessment. That's still here. That's going to take 2 people, 3 turns. Harden RDP, 1 person, 2 turns. I'm actually going to harden the RDP since I'm such a outspoken advocate of how much this annoys me. So I'm going to do that. Yep. I'm going to obviously do this right here. Now we've got 2 people and 14 grand. And I feel because Clint just said this, I'm going to investigate this. I'm going to do a vulnerability assessment, guys. Part of the reason why is because it unlocks a tree that you guys, I'm telling you right now, default creds,
the same mistake.
Default creds are gonna be the end of me. Like default creds or SolarWinds 1, 2, 3 are just gonna kill me. Like that's what's gonna take me in. Friends will smoke and drink too much, Clint, because that's not gonna be what kills me. It's gonna be default creds. All right. Let's end the turn. We are getting low on cash, guys. It looks like it might be a well liquor holiday party this year. Okay, what do we got here? All of our assets are committed. We got $4,000. We've been on the job for 2 weeks. Let's see how we're doing. We got another turn to harden that terminal server and 2 turns for vulnerability assessment. You can see our firewalls are here too, guys. I think I'm going to prioritize putting EDR on the firewalls, which isn't exactly how it works in real life, but basically, exactly, let me in. Basically, for the game's sake, installing EDR on the firewalls allows heightened telemetry to be fed into your SIM and effectively make you, as the SOC analyst, aware of what's anomalous behavior. So I'm going to end the turn. Okay, something just happened, right? We hardened our RDP. That's good. So obviously, log me in, let me in. Isn't going to work for you this time, Dave Klein. But we've got one more turn for our vulnerability assessment, and that's when we're going to start going buck wild, right? Where we're going to be dropping our analysts like, hey, you go harden that server. Hey, you go put this on this firewall. So we definitely want to just do a one-person, one-turn action right now. It might not be the best one for what I would want to do for a cybersecurity program, but I don't want to have a resource committed through the turn when our vulnerability assessment comes up, because I'm going to want to start using those assets. So you can see all these like ICS vendor cert, 1 person, 2 turns. Not loving that. Install a network security sensor. There we go. This is good. I'll do this one. And you could see you could drop it into each of the network segments except for this network segment over here. Clint, any particular reason? Is it ill-advised to drop network sensors into kind of OT environments?
No, because they're passive. In fact, it's recommended. Now there are certain in real life there are certain OT sensors that you need to be specialized for OT, so they could pick up specific OT protocols. But as long as they're completely passive, there's no risk.
Okay, so maybe by putting it here, you get like, because I can't drop one into this network segment right here. But just so you guys understand my methodology, I want to put one here, because this is where the engineering workstation is, and that's going to control all of my OT. And then also I want to put one over here, because this is my corporate infrastructure, right? These are my end users, and they're more likely to get compromised than this stuff initially. But bad guys are looking for crown jewels. Like, they don't care if they got Carl's Windows 7 box. They care if they got AD, right? Because that's where you can push out GPOs and malware and ransomware and stuff. So I'm going to focus my effort by starting here, and I will get around to putting a network sensor over there.
In your OT environment there, that illustrates what I just said about you need special OT threat monitoring. You can actually, as an action, you can deploy ICS threat monitoring.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so this might be a little nerve-wracking. You can see now that we've completed our vulnerability assessment that all of our assets just about have this yellow shield with a red exclamation point. Now, Clint, where is the like the legend, right? If you didn't know what that was.
So
you know what I'm talking about?
There's actually, I thought we had a legend for the blue team. I guess we don't. I guess it's only for the red team because there's a lot more icons. But yeah, it's in the game guide is where it is. Yeah, it's a good point.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Add a legend. We need to add one to the blue team.
Yeah. And I love this. Like, if the application is, if the interface is getting a little busy for you, you can, toggle this off. I typically leave it on because I like to see the host names. But the shield basically means that there's active vulnerabilities on all of these themes. You can see that this switch has default cred. You can see the engineering workstation has a weak password, incorrect access control, susceptible to heap overflows. So they're unique for each system, although some systems can share vulnerabilities. And this is where I was telling you about where now I want to deploy my resources to go fix these individual things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the network sensor over in the corporate area that I told you about. Right here. Okay. And now I'm going to start needing my my engineering workstation, right? I'm going to pass. Well, hold on. Where's my main gateway firewall? Here's another thing, guys. This is the front door to your world. And it's a little less common in zero trust architecture, but like this is the front door. Oh, Carrie, you're the best. So let's look at our gateway firewall. Okay, you guys ready to get nauseous? This is the gateway firewall to the entire corporate network. Default credentials. I told you this is going to be the death of me.
Look what you just did. You made the same mistake. You ran a vulnerability assessment on your entire network without implementing safe ICS testing procedures, and you knocked over a PLC.
So I have to reboot this thing now instead of securing my. Oh my god! So this, hey, you want to talk about the struggle? Do you reboot your asset and get your business online, or do you change default creds on your gateway firewall? The struggle's real. The answer, unfortunately, is reboot asset because you're there to help the business make money. Damn. Good catch, Clint. Thank you.
And now you're out of money.
Oh my god. Dude, I told you I was going to go to Starbucks and get like a caramel macchiato a couple turns ago because I felt so good. And now I'm broke. I got hardware down, default creds on gateway firewall. Oh, hey, I just got 10 Gs. Thank you.
Whoa, low budget request. Low budget allowance.
Yeah, I don't mind that. That's good. So that's interesting, Clint. So the game will give you money if you run out. It's good. Let me change the default creds.
No, look at your notifications. You just got basically a bonus. If you click on the exclamation point on the top right.
Yeah.
And
budget.
Look at that budget. There you go.
Wow. So that was incredibly convenient. Thank you. Hey, you know what? Sometimes the computer gods, they take and sometimes they give. And what a splendid coincidence that the day I ran out of budget, I got a $10,000 bonus for being awesome. Little does the board know that I'm freaking out about default creds on the gateway. But, you know, guys, I know Dave Klein in chat, you got a little bit of the gray in the hair too. You don't go into level of detail about the gateway firewall having default creds at the board meeting. They don't want to hear that. They're at like 150,000 foot overview. You just say we're 80% secure with low risk. Any questions, right? So we don't have to worry about that. All right, so we put those creds there. We've got 2 analysts. I want to continue to harden this stuff. Let's see, the historian. Oh my God, I almost get overwhelmed with all these alerts. System hardening is 2 turns. Patching, update firmware. Default creds on this guy. Not feeling that. Do any of these other firewalls have? See, here we go. Default creds. Get out of here with that. Install EDR. Install EDR. Okay. I'm going to put EDR on this particular network segment. Because again, I really want to protect this PCS network. Okay, this is the gauntlet, the hairy part of the game where I'm feeling a little tummy trouble. Like, this is why they sell Pepto-Bismol at the Quick Marts near business parks, because executives, like CISOs particularly, are having indigestion from stress and nerves. Yes, another loiterer removed. Security awareness and video surveillance for the win. Don't come and hang around here no mo. This thing bumped up to 3%. We're doing all right there. We've got our 3 full assets. Let's take a look at our skill tree. Go for a big ticket item now that I've kind of shored up that other stuff. All right, so ICS vendor certification, safe testing method. Now, I don't know the difference between those two, so I'm going to just take a quick look here. Safe testing is establishing vulnerability and testing methods safe for ICS environments. prevent damaging ICS. Okay, this is what I want to do because I keep knocking over my assets. Effectively, the threat actors don't need to attack my infrastructure. I'm attacking my own infrastructure. Okay, so we've got that. EDR. Okay, so I'm going to put an EDR on this network segment as well. Simply because I should be hardening it, but I'm hoping that by putting EDR on it, if a threat actor does exploit the vulnerability on this box, at least I'll know about it and I can deploy resources to go, address it. Speaking of that, I'm going to upgrade my IR procedures right here. 1 analyst, 3 turns. It's a little costly, but I feel like we've now had multiple loiterers arrested on premise. Level of concern, my risk profile is going up. My concern is higher. So now I want to bolster my IR staff, right? We had, 1 analyst who it kind of was doing it as a hobby, studying the CYSA, said, hey, I can do SecOps work. Well, now we need to mature that overall process, make it more mature. So go develop some procedures. Let's figure out what's up in case we don't. Well, hopefully we don't need it, but we might. Here we go. $6,500. I should be requesting budget. So I got 1 person. I'm going to request budget. Hold on. Does see, all of these things don't cost money, like system patching, system hardening. I think I can go a couple turns without spending money. Look at our AD creds here. Update AV, system patching. That's not too bad. Okay. I'm going to install EDR on the gateway firewall. I'm just a little concerned of that particular asset. All right, here we go. ICS safe testing methods, good. Compromised asset detected? You discovered a compromised asset. You should activate IR and clean or replace the affected asset ASAP. Guys, this game has an active adversary playing against me. Like a computer AI is playing against me. When I just told you I needed to develop IR procedures because I was getting a little tummy troubles, I didn't know this was going to happen. It's just, whatever, gut instinct. And it was my gateway firewall. Guys, I just deployed EDR there. This thing could have been popped a month ago and I didn't know about it. So this is a real problem. This is why you put EDR and get telemetry on mission critical resources. So I just hit activate IR. As nauseating as it is, it takes a turn to do it. So because I still have 2 analysts and I'm not a fool, I do want to utilize those analysts to do something while we're waiting for IR to activate. Because the gateway firewall, oh, you're crushing it, Carrie. Because the gateway firewall just went off, I'm going to begin focusing my efforts at hardening things in this network segment. As important as it is over here, I've got, basically telemetry. I've got verified evidence that there's a problem on this segment. So I'm going to start strengthening all this stuff, right? Let's deploy EDR on this device and let's patch the AD server. The AD server, Active Directory, is often seen as the crown jewel of any company's network. So you definitely want to make sure that that thing's protected. Don't give everybody domain admin. Start with that. Okay, guys. IR procedures created. IR mode activated. So we're in IR now. So we can't do things like install AV, right? We can only disconnect devices from the internet. Now, what's kind of nauseating is this particular device would be the equivalent of me unplugging the company from the internet, which that's a tough call that some CISOs once in a while in their career have to make. Let's see what Dave's saying. In my experience, past life as a Cisco engineer, I can tell you how often I'd help a customer file upgrade and find my prep files from the last time I visited the customer 2 years prior. These devices need to be managed and watched as much as your endpoints and servers. Preach. It's so true. It's so true. A lot of people see like switches and routers as like, oh, those are just kind of pass-through appliances, no big deal. But no, like you can do some serious damage. I mean, heck, look at Facebook went offline the other day because of a BGP route update that was a mistake, right? So network devices matter. Okay, I don't want to disconnect this thing from the network because that will screw everything up. It's the network gateway firewall. I would love to gather forensics on it, but it's
gathering forensics. Yeah. Gathering forensics is going to increase your threat intelligence score. That's one win condition for you. Also, keep in mind that if you disconnect things, anything that is not connected to the internet or isn't in production has different variable costs to your production, and that your production meter, your profit loss and production meter up there, the multicolored meter, if that gets too far down in the red for 5 consecutive turns, you lose.
Yeah. All right. Well, so here's what I'm thinking. Hey guys, I don't want to wait 2 turns to gather forensics when my net firewall is compromised. Replacing the asset would guarantee root it out, right? Especially if they have installed like a boot root kit. Going a little extreme. We just saw in First Things First Monday this week that rat remote administration tool or remote access Trojan is being seen in the wild. So maybe that's what they stuck in there. I'm just going to clean the asset. And sadly, it's because you can't see it because my name's over it. But thank you, Clint. The asset replacement is $5,000. I only have $5,500. And I really don't want to burn my whole budget, even though I'm like actively being attacked. So I'm just going to clean the asset and pray. Here's the thing. If I clean the asset, I won't have enough money to replace the asset if, in fact, it doesn't effectively clean the asset. So, shoot, I'm going to replace the asset. I didn't want to spend that money. Clint, but I can't risk it because if I clean the asset and it doesn't work, because they have a boot root kit in there, I'm going to have to request more budget, and that takes 3 turns, and I can't be owned for that long. Dang.
You probably need to request more budget anyway.
No, I will, but I don't want to be under active attack while that's happening.
That's probably the best time to get budget.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Dave's been chiming in here throughout the stream, right? Like, Clint makes a solid point. The best time to ask for money is while you're actively being attacked, or right afterwards when the wound is still fresh in the business's mind. All right, so let's request. We have to deactivate IR, which takes a turn. Can I request budget while I'm under assault here?
Yes.
Cool. And deactivate IR. And what can I do with my 2 assets? I really do anything with my 2 assets. This is all locked out. I can't really do anything. What a waste. Too bad. So these 2 analysts are basically, you know what? They worked over the weekend.
Train wreck.
Well, this is another kind of reality, right? As much as I would love to put these people to work, Log4j happened on a Saturday. You know, I forget what the Exchange vulnerability was early in 2021, but there was like 4 0 days for Exchange. A lot of people worked over the weekend. We just dealt with an active incident. These 2 analysts burned the midnight oil and helped replace that asset. So I'm going to give them the day off to mental health.
Giving them the day off right when everything is on fire, at least your firewall. Oh, it's been fixed though, so it looks like it was worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Now they're back. Get them back to work. I hope you enjoyed your break.
As far as you know, it's fixed.
Well, yeah, as I mentioned, I'm going to begin hardening these endpoints. Again, I'm going to install EDR on this. My last $500. Do I really want to spend my last $500 on EDR for a server router? I don't. Let's change the default creds. If I was going to employ EDR on something, what would it be?
Engineering workstation, historian, anything that is a PC or a server in your process environment is where you should be focusing most of your security until that's clean.
in this thing? Okay. So really heavy emphasis on ICS and OT. Well, I'm going to
And not
install.
all the environments, just so everybody knows, this entire platform is not solely based on ICS. We have other environments like hospitals and banks and stuff on the way.
Nice. All right, so we are officially out of money, but that doesn't mean we can't do some fundamental cyber hygiene stuff. We've got 2 people, so I'm going to go ahead and harden this system. I'm going to harden the engineer workstation. And I'm going to end my turn and hope that the I'm going to hope that the board gives me money. Come on, CFO, hook me up. Here we go. Budget acquired. Thank goodness. How much did we get? 40 G's. I'm not going to complain. But I can't hire a new FTE for 40,000.
I don't know what the max is anymore, but that's pretty high. That's good.
No, it's awesome. I can use 40,000. I probably have a bunch of money left over by the time I win, but hiring new staff, FTE is very expensive. Normally, businesses might hire consultants or professional services, which oddly has a higher cost. But because the money is a different color, which gets completely outside of cybersecurity, it's more OPEX than CAPEX. And for some reason, businesses love spending OPEX. Okay, let's continue to harden our area, change those default creds, patch this system. Oh, I can't do that. See, all these things don't cost money. I have the $40,000 to help deal with fires that flare up. Okay, let's continue. Harden and patch, and let's update. Oh wait, yeah, we can update the firmware. That'll be good.
You like our new little action animations now? It lets you know, hey, it's going up into the queue with that little, that nice little animation that Aaron created.
Uh-oh, we have an asset out of service. It will cost us money until we fix it, right? So basically, Clint was saying this earlier. This is our P&L, or this is how much money the business is generating. And when you have things out of order, you're not making money. Now, this is a little concerning. I'm going to reboot the asset, but it's our controller. Let's see. Continue to harden this particular area of the network. Asset rebooted. Let's see if it goes back online. Excellent. Okay, so let's get those patches put on there. Oh no, we've got something else offline. Guys, we have a serious problem. We have multiple devices going down over here. Let's continue to harden these things. Yikes. Let's see. Here we go.
It does not cost you. That's a textual error. It's not going to cost you money each turn that it's out of service. But the reason it's out of service is probably if you patched something and you didn't have the ICS certification, that can take things down too.
Oh, good to know. So I was operating outside of my skill. Yeah, here we go. So Clint's referring to the ICS vendor certification. This says you got to get vendor approval before applying. So this is a real thing that just happened, guys. I come from a non-ICS OT background, so I'm applying historically appropriate IT concepts to an OT environment, and this is one of those wrinkles that is presenting itself. Guys, got to patch all the things, and I am patching all the things, and I'm literally attacking and crippling my own network. So let me reboot, and hopefully these things will probably just keep flip-flopping. Okay, let me change the default creds on this. Just slowly continuing to do the blocking and tackling. Let's see, here we go. Oh my God, more assets out of service. You can see the P&L is going down. Man, good thing I got that budget when I did request it, because I think that they're going to be a little pissy with me that I'm costing I'm having downtime. Okay, let's patch this firewall. Yes, South Carolina is a good time. All right, let's install endpoint security. Oh wait, we don't have any assets. Okay, let's go. I feel like this game may have gotten a little away from me, Clint. Asset rebooted. Here we go. We've got our ICS vendor patch certification, so hopefully that helps us. You can see
only
here.
Good for 10 turns.
Okay, this vulnerability is a weak password, but you can see I can't do anything around it because end users don't know what a strong password is. We need to educate them, and that is done right here, enforcing strong passwords, because we can tell them, hey, complex, 24 characters, capital letters, numbers, all that stuff. But if we're not technically requiring them to do that through group policy or some other method, then they can just do whatever they want. So let's go ahead and do this so we can fix those weak passwords. Deploy USB security. I'm curious what that is. Secure the USB ports on an asset from USB containing malware. You know what? I'm going to do it just for the workstation, and I'm going to tell you why, guys. Stuxnet, Stuxnet. Look it up. You don't know about it. Stuxnet was an attack on an Iranian nuclear enrichment facility that I won't get into the politics behind it, but the way that that site was compromised and ultimately the enrichment facility physically destroyed was because of a malicious USB being put into the engineer's workstation. So this attack is not just real, it's quite devastating. It set that plant back like 10 years. All right, we've got one more resource to work. Let's go ahead and put, well, this guy was compromised earlier. This guy, patches, hardening, SIM. Let's install EDR in the SIM, right? If a bad guy, threat actor, gets into our SIM and misconfigures it, then we don't have any visibility. There we go. Oh, we're being awarded here. Password policy created. We can, changing default creds and enforcing strong passwords is the foundation of good security posture. So true. Good. We got awarded here. You now have the maximum defense against social engineering attack. Of course, nothing is 100% guaranteed. So true. Guys, real quick, you can never be 100% secure. Every business, no matter how secure they are, will always have some residual risk. So no matter what we're doing at this manufacturing facility, there will be some residual risk. There's actually kind of think of like a logarithmic curve. There'll be depreciating return on investment in security tooling at some point, which is why you wouldn't get the funding to invest. So let's take a look at our network, see where we're at. We got none of these yellow shields with the red exclamation points over here, so that's pretty good. Our PCS historian still got some action going on, so let's do EDR on those. And yeah, I'm going to install I'm going to install EDR for telemetry. You'll notice, guys, I have decided not to really care about the workstations, including this remote one. I'm not really worried about my DMZ environment. This is an area that could be compromised, right? It's internet facing. But when I'm doing the risk analysis of where to spend my time, where to spend my resources, and in what order to do it, I have to make hard choices. And it's not that I don't care about these engineering workstations. It's just that I care about these assets more than these assets at this time. I want to catch another loiterer. That's what I want to do. Absolutely. All about risk. Here, I've got 3 people. I'm going to install here. I want to see about catching more loiterers. We've got security, social engineering up. ICS security monitoring. What is this? Provides visibility into compromised ICS assets. Well, let's do that for sure. 2 people, 2 turns. I like it. And then let us implement strong. Don't want them. Don't want the threat actors in the parking lot of the company, right? Look at this guy in this truck, right? Little parking lot over here in the corner, sitting over there with a Pringles can, wireless antenna, pointing it at the facility. Not on my watch. Let's see, here we go. Strong Wi-Fi security implemented. All right. We've still got 2. It was a 2 turn for the ICS security monitoring. Guys, I am hoping that when we hit end turn, that nothing comes of this, right? This visibility into any of these devices compromised. So we are hoping none of them are compromised. Let's go. We got 1 turn, 1 person. What are we going to do? Let's install a VPN. Remote workforce, work from home, 2022, post-COVID. Got to have a VPN. Got to have a VPN, y'all. All right, here we go. Yes. Security monitoring and ICS-specific threat monitoring have been implemented. No hacker can elude you. ICS security proper methodology. Good. It feels good. I just want to take a moment to talk to everybody about the emotional roller coaster that I've been on the last 30 minutes. I went from feeling great, going to Starbucks because we had established a level of security program that made me comfortable enough to walk away from my desk. Then our gateway firewall gets popped. I personally start knocking over my own OT and custom P&L. I run out of budget. I'm going to the Quick Mart and double fisting pink liquid, right? The Pepto. Now I got 40 G's from my boss. All of my HMI stuff is secure and operational. The P&L still in green. I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm feeling pretty comfortable, Clint. I feel pretty chill right now. So let's just continue doing the right things. I'm going to start focusing on hardening the actually, I'm going to focus in on hardening this internet facing area because that's where I would. You should have just made the coffee for. Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, I want to get a little strut in. You know what I mean? Stretch the legs. I've been hunched over in a dark room with just the glow of a monitor to keep me company. All right, let's install EDR and system patches on this DMZ historian. Guys, real quick too, these historians, audit logs, if you get breached, if you have an active adversary in your environment, if you are compromised, logs are the only thing that you're going to be able to look at in order to understand what the heck has happened, what is happening, and where they have moved. Very important. Let's go. Got our VPN installed. Right, let me do this. Let's switch to music here. We got our VPN. I'm going to turn the music on. How do I modify the level of the volume?
Yeah, mute it. You can only go to the settings. Nah. You can only modify the volume from the start screen settings. I'll put in a feature request to make it to where you could change the volume from in-game.
Okay, that sounds fine.
I don't think my SQA engineer is watching the live stream right now.
That's fine. So, all right, we've got 3 people, 24,000. We're looking good. Okay, guys, EDR on the terminal server is a brilliant idea. Now I finally have the time and resources, frankly, to be able to do this correctly and focus on this particular area. You can see this is our VPN. I should have probably put an EDR on that. People, guys, I'm telling you right now, VPN concentrators, those are attacked. Like those get popped. You got to protect your VPN concentrator. Here we go. Oh no, we got an asset out of service. We're just going to pretend that this is normal business operations. Is a legacy piece of software. Oh no, our terminal server.
That's not. Yeah. You didn't do that one. That is the red team did that, and I don't know why they would deny it rather than trying to control it. That doesn't make sense.
That's okay. I'm going to reboot it.
Oh, I think I know why.
I'm on to you here, guys. Now I need to start hardening all the crap around again. Like this terminal server is the blast zone. This is ground zero. So now I'm looking at the blast radius where that lateral movement would go, and I'm hardening it. We got our asset rebooted. Oh no. Oh no.
That means that it's not compromised. That means it's been targeted. So you probably have something inside of your DMZ. They're trying to get to the PCN.
Okay, no problem. I got you. Check this out.
So it didn't. It looks like the attack probably may or may not have been successful, but that means it's been targeted. Your network IDS picked that up, and it tells you which asset had been targeted.
Okay, guys. So basically, I just did a lot of work on this device. I probably should have hardened this one, but I didn't. Let's go.
Actually,
Let's go.
no.
Again.
Look. You don't have an IDS. You don't have an IDS inside your DMZ. The only IDS that can pick that up on that firewall is in your PCN. You've got something active in your PCN.
Oh, because I don't have IDS. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So the orange zone is the only one that has the IDS.
Okay, I made a mistake. I need to install a network sensor here. Whoops.
But either way, that tells you, deductive reasoning tells you that something is in the orange zone, your PCN. You got something in there compromised.
Okay. Good thing we invested heavily in securing that engineering workstation. I got you.
Yeah, it looks like you're frustrating the enemy right now, and it's not able to compromise the historian or the engineering workstation, so it's looking elsewhere to try to get to the process zone, the ground zone.
And now I'm gonna. All right, engineering workstation's hardened. That's hardened. That's hardened.
Now, keep in mind, you may still have 0 days. The only way you can find 0 days is by doing pen testing.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I don't want to invest in that, honestly. Like it's like so expensive. $10,000, 2 people, 3 turns. It's so expensive. Let's see. Yes. Vulnerability mapping. What does this give us here?
Carrie
Maps
got
application.
jokes.
Yeah, less of a chance to find vulnerabilities compared to a vulnerability assessment, but less resource intensive. Oh, I see. So I already went all in with the assessment, so I don't need to do the mapping.
Assessments will not find all vulnerabilities all the time. So, there still may be lingering vulnerabilities.
Yeah, definitely.
That are not 0 days.
Let's create a backup process, I guess. Oh my God. Let's create a backup process. Just in case it's ransomware. Okay, here we go.
So you're just now creating your backup processes. You still have to create restore points on each individual device. Yeah, that terminal server got targeted again.
Okay, that's fine. Here. Oh, I don't have enough resources. Oh crap! All my resources are. Now, as far as the IR goes, I can. Okay. Create restore. Okay. So I don't need to activate IR right now, but I don't have any resources to do anything. So let's hope. Hope is definitely not a strategy for information security. Okay, sys backups implemented.
Now you can create restore points.
Yeah, so let's do this. Well, damn. Well, let's see what creating a restore point does for me. Creates a backup in which the asset can be reverted back to in the event of a compromise. This asset will revert back in the exact state it was. Okay. So the thing is, and I don't know how it works in the game, but in reality, you would never want to create a restore point on an actively compromised thing because you'd literally be restoring back to a known compromised state.
It's not compromised, it's being targeted, but you at that point you probably want to assume it's being targeted. Now here's another thing too. I would have to assume, look at your profit loss meter, it's going further down. You probably have malware installed somewhere and data being exfiltrated.
Oh, this isn't good. No, it's not. This is Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Harris Heller puts out all sorts of music through Stream Beats, and it's copyright free. So a lot of streamers will use it as background music because you won't get copyright hit. Not that we're monetizing this video, but it's just a best practice. All right, so I've got malware actively in my environment.
You probably need to start doing some threat hunting if you have the skills. Make sure you have your endpoint protection installed over. Now, keep in mind that just because you have your EDR installed, your endpoint protection and detection, it doesn't mean it's going to automatically pick up things. But if you're deploying stealth techniques and stealth measures, then you might not be detecting it. Doing threat hunting is going to give you a better chance of finding those compromised devices that are using stealth.
Yeah, I hear you. Here's the problem. It takes 3 people 3 turns. So I'm heavily committing my resources to get to threat hunting. So, you know,
unfortunately, we don't have that hot fix out yet. But yeah, it does not make sense that security skill or that security awareness training is a prerequisite of security skills because it's 2 different.
But that's fine. I've already paid for the security awareness, so that doesn't really bother me in this instance. What bothers me is locking up my whole team for 3 days while I know that we're being actively targeted. So
yeah,
I'm just going to continue doing what I can with what I have. Where's let me see.
I mean, you're 9 turns away from winning all the Weathered the Storm.
Yeah. I'm just going to continue hardening everything around this space. And normally, I think you recommend 75 turns, right? We configured it for 50 so the stream wouldn't go too long. But
yeah, I think the default is 75. It looks like 50 consistently now. 50 turns is good for an hour stream, even when we're taking our time, sort of.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna.
You do have a threat intelligence score of 40%.
That's good.
You've been passively gathering intelligence. You did gather forensics on a couple of them.
Yes, I did. No, I didn't. I rebooted because I didn't want to take. It was the gateway firewall. That's okay. I mean, we're getting 3% a turn. This is here. I'm going to deploy USB security to this thing. Deploy update antivirus on my domain controller.
They are hammering that terminal server.
Yes. Full asset update. Your commitment to keeping everything updated is impressive. No rest for the weary, though new vulnerabilities are sure to pop up. Okay. Let's go. Let's do this. So, all right. Now let's create a restore point. I love that it costs 0 people $0. Oh, wow. You can just go buck wild, create restore points on everything? Huh.
Yep. Yeah, it should not. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that you can create restore points on the embedded devices, but
yeah, that can be edited. I think, just as I don't want to call it a request or whatever, but since it's free to do and you can click on everything and do it, I almost wonder if like one solid create restore points for all devices button might make more sense.
Yeah.
because you know what I mean. I'm basically just clicking around trying to see if I got them all.
Yeah, we debated whether we need to make it like have at least somewhat of a cost.
Yeah, it's tough though because it's like we got to do it like a half a FTE or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe do it by zone. Create restore point for the zone. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's look. I still got 2 people. I basically have all the business staff taking snapshots of their own machines. So let me focus on. Ooh, a pen test. Do I have money for that? Yes, I'm gonna do a full pen test. Come at me,
That'll
bro.
uncover more vulnerabilities. It has a better chance of uncovering more of your basic vulnerabilities, your public vulnerabilities, and it also has a chance to discover 0 days. And the 0 days will be noted in the vulnerabilities box.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Check this out. Now I created a restore point for this thing already. I thought. So I have to activate.
You can always create restore points anytime. You can update
I know,
the
but how do
restore
I?
points anytime.
How can I use it? How can I restore this machine to a known good state?
You might need to wait a turn. Oh yeah, through IR. That's what it is.
All right, let me activate IR and let me do something that. Whoops. Let me do something that takes 1 turn. System patches on the sim. Okay, ready? I'm feeling pretty good about us. IR mode activated. There we go. All right, let's do this.
I feel good about us too, Jerry.
Restore from backup. I love it. This is interesting. Let me gather forensics. Oh no, I can't. Here, let me do that. If I had it, I would have gathered forensics to see if we could get the threat intelligence score up to 100 before the turns end. Okay, cool. Test completed. Let's see. Ooh, another compromised asset detected. The terminal server is now equally compromised.
They finally got it.
Okay. So we are in IR, so we can't really do this. Can I restore from backup? That probably won't matter because they compromised it. Damn it. I am going to restore from it backup. That's why I took the backups. Well, hey, from a procedural perspective, do you clean it and then restore, or does restore just revert back to a snapshot?
Yeah, restoring is a form of cleaning it.
Okay.
If you had a clean image in the first place.
Yeah. So hold on. Did this fail? I just did a restore from backup on DMZ historian succeeded, and it's still compromised. So the backup had a compromised image on it.
Yeah. Yep.
Damn. All right. Well, let's do gather forensics and clean asset because they both take 2 turns, and I'll get more telemetry or threat intelligence. And dude, we're cruising on threat intelligence.
That red indicator, the red alert that's telling you that box is being targeted, that red alert is not going away. So that's either a bug or they just keep attacking it. I'm not sure.
Well, it certainly got my attention. I'm
going
to end the turn. Look at the P&L just went all the way up to max.
That's probably good. The thing. That terminal server probably had some malware on it that was exfiltrating data.
I love it. Now we're at 78%. So this is good. This guy is still, it's still waiting 2 turns. So I can do, what can I do?
Oh, it went away.
I can't really do it. I know. I was just seeing if I could get value for my time, but I can't really. All right. So I'm just going to deactivate IR. Oh, no. So this is one of those tricky ones that's in the game. I can deactivate IR now because it'll take a turn, and these 2 should complete, right?
Yes.
All right. So I'm deactivating IR with the expectation that cleaning the asset and gathering forensics is going to completely address my problem. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it works out.
Let's see if it pays off.
All right, guys, I'm feeling good. We got forensics evidence. We've completed our pen test. I think this one is from our old. Oh my God. This box is owned. I don't want to. So, okay. So I made the mistake of getting ahead of myself and assuming that cleaning the asset would solve the problem. This box is still owned. I do have to redo activating IR, which stinks. So now I've got 3 people, but I'm going to go ahead and do patching and stuff. That takes 1 turn. So for my vulnerability, my penetration testing, let me do this.
Do you have any 0 days? I was just curious.
Oh, default creds on my feed pen
you-
concentrator. Format
Yeah,
string
you
error.
got some 0 days there.
How do I fix that? Is it system patch or hardening?
Patching.
Default creds though are so
If you
gross.
look, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do the default creds, even though I agree with you. Default creds, script kiddies can punch through. 0 days, you do need a more sophisticated actor. All right.
Yep.
So it's I've got 1 turn left. Oh, I was really hoping to get my threat intelligence up to 100. Not weather the storm.
Oh, close.
Okay.
Got
We
the
got
forensics.
$500.
Can you do forensics again? No. Oh, it's still. What's your? Oh, you had a failure. See, your action log was flashing red. So yeah, that means you had a failure.
Oh, cleaning the asset. Dope.
Yeah, your action log, the word will flash red if there was a failure.
Well, good thing that
That's
we're
a
near
new
the
feature.
end. So
Yeah.
check this out.
I mean, you
I'll
pretty
restore
much
from
won.
backup, but even though I weathered the storm, you could argue that I'm being fired at the end of this turn. All right, guys, we won. The blue team.
Look at the results too. Click on results to see what all they had ownership of. See what all they pwned.
Hold on, let me
Go to the view other.
Oh boy.
Okay, actually no, go back. Yeah, go back. You'll see. Go back. So they didn't really have click. Yeah.
Oh,
so they only had a workstation. Big
Tim
deal.
Wilson's computer.
You were close to a threat intelligence victory, though.
Yeah, let me see what the other had. So they had. Does this mean that they had found some of my
Yeah,
OT
what you
stuff?
see there is everything that was discovered. It's hard to see.
Oh, I
don't know what. So the reason why some of those are port scan but not service enumerated is probably because you cut off their access at some point, and so they knew about those assets, but they no longer had access to pivot on those.
Mm-hmm. You could see this DMZ firewall. This is one that they were targeting for a bit. Gateway firewall had been compromised at one point. Server firewall, that's this one. So I guess they got in here, right? And they found this firewall and this firewall. So here, guys, network segmentation did its job, right? They got in here and they couldn't get out of here. That's how I interpret that. So this was really good. Obviously, I can save the report off if I want to, save that locally to my machine and be able to use that to go over it if I was playing this game as a professional development with a team, or if I was doing a tabletop exercise. I could use this report to help inform the discussion on how we performed, where we had gaps, the decision-making process that I had made throughout there. So that's going to do it for this Let's Play stream. We're going to be doing more of these Let's Play, from the red, from the blue, manufacturing, healthcare. We'll be jumping around, dicing around. We'll have special guests come and play with us. But I had a good time. Definitely learned some more about the ICS OT space. I continue to attack my own services by accident, so I need to stop doing that. Clint, you want to take us
Valuable
out? Any
OT
final
lessons.
thoughts?
Yeah, valuable OT lessons there. Don't forget to catch Jerry and I doing a dual live stream on the 15th. And so there's that going on. And I think it's, I forget what time it is. I don't have the, do I have
11
the,
a.m. Eastern.
and so you'll be able to catch his live stream on his Simply Cyber channel on YouTube. And then the other one will be on, that's Simon's channel. Forget what.
Infosec.live.
Okay. Yeah. Infosec.live. Right. So thanks, Carrie, for the compliment there. So yeah, catch us on the 15th. And on that note, the one last thing I want to say is that, if you are interested in using ThreatGEN Red versus Blue, this platform, the cybersecurity simulation platform, we have an entire professional portal where you can, it's got educational material. Right now it's in early access because some of the educational material is still being developed by yours truly right there next to me. Jerry is developing a lot of content. I'm developing some content. So it's educational content that goes along with this Red versus Blue. There's a lot of labs, as you saw in the beginning of this video. There's a labs section. What those labs are, all of the courses, almost all of the courses, have labs that directly correlate to Red versus Blue. So the courses are going to direct you to go into the game and play specific labs with different objectives. And so it's not just playing the game, but it's correlated to those labs. But the use cases for Red versus Blue is you've got tabletop exercises, team building, cybersecurity education, user awareness, and the most important aspect, as Jerry pointed out earlier, is it's active adversary. So while you're playing, whether it's against, obviously it's active adversary if you're playing another person because you can play this over the network. But if you're playing against the computer, everything that you do, you've got that active component playing against you, as you saw. So on that note, I guess we'll take it out from here, and we'll see you next time, everybody.